Hello, this is Dr. Janet Hall, and I'm a clinical psychologist and hypnotherapist and author and speaker, and I've been practicing for well over 30 years in psychology in Melbourne, Australia. Now, one of the most important things that I teach people is that you are actually very much made by how you are basically conceived and then how you grow up. And I talk about the bucket theory, with the idea being that we're all carrying an invisible bucket, and our bucket's basically our nervous system. Now, some people are born with very wobbly buckets right from the beginning because they've inherited a nervous system that really isn't very strong. Others have very, very strong nervous systems, but over time that bucket can get quite a bit of a wobble up and even spring some leaks. Now, if you were conceived and not wanted, some people actually have a real sense of not being wanted, which they carry unconsciously right throughout their lives. And so that's really, really sad for them. Sometimes if I'm telling somebody this and they were adopted, they'll start to cry and they'll say, "Dr. Jan, I wasn't wanted right from the start." And so I have to hear them out and help them understand that that they really do belong and that they are important and they are special. But let's say that you were wanted and here you are and you're carrying your bucket through life. So there is a tap on the side of the bucket, and that tap is for you to be able to talk so that somebody listens, and ideally that's somebody who loves you and who will accept you unconditionally. And so the more you can talk and the more that you feel that you're understood and loved, the lighter your bucket will be as you go through life. But every now and again there is a kind of a well, starting off with just little bits of muck or crap, I call it, that go into the bucket. And you know, in Australia, that crap actually comes through the tall poppy syndrome, where people will cut you down. And so they might say, "Well, who are you to think that you could be good at that?" Or, "Gee, you've got a big nose," or something just to put you down. And so that little bit of crap goes in your bucket, and you might be carrying that as upset. So if you can talk about it to somebody who loves you, it will drain away through the trap on the side. But every now and again there are two really, really big bricks that might go into that bucket. And the first brick I call the colour blue, the blue brick. And the blue brick is all about grief. And inevitably we are all going to experience grief. Somebody that we love is going to die. And so it's like a big blue brick ball goes into your bucket. And if you don't get to talk through with somebody, preferably who loves you, that brick will stay there. And then what happens if there is another blue brick and another blue brick? Yeah, sooner or later your bucket will overflow. And so that's why it's important to get therapy and work through your grief, whether it's a grief of loved one, or loss of a job, or loss of a dream, or a broken heart. Now, the second brick that can go into the bucket is the pink brick. And the pink brick is about invalidation. So that's like, if you can imagine a carton of milk that's gone off, it's become invalid. And so, once again, for all of us, inevitably there will be a time when we'll feel that we've been made invalid. And that might be that, you know, your best friend turns on you, or you're not invited to something that in the past you would have just expected yourself to be invited to, or you're overlooked for a promotion. And it can even be being dumped again. Your marriage breaks up. Everything that you held that was good and true and wonderful has been lost. It's lost, and so the pink brick has turned into a blue brick. So the main thing that I'm trying to teach you is that it's so important that you shouldn't carry all of your upsets. and ideally find somebody that you love to listen to you. But there are times when not even your best family member wants to listen to you over and over again. So maybe that's time for you to go and get some therapy. Find somebody who's good, whom you can trust. If you'd like, you can always email me at jan@drjanethall.com.au or come to my website, drjanethall.com.au, and I'm sure that we can help. So just be very kind to yourself and make sure that you're not carrying around a really big bucket full of overwhelm.